Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man channel. Not all who wander are lost. Some are simply operating on a higher frequency no one else can hear. Sigma males move through the world like invisible chess masters. Quiet, deliberate and utterly perplexing. Studies show that only about 3% of men exhibit the extreme independence and unpredictability that defines a Sigma, yet everyone feels their ripple effect whether they realize it or not. They'll walk into a room and do absolutely nothing, and somehow leave everyone overthinking their life choices. You'll see them laugh at things no one else finds funny, disappear from social obligations like ghosts, and leave people staring, wondering if they just imagined the entire interaction. Their behavior isn't careless. It's a carefully coded enigma designed to confuse, intrigue, and occasionally make you feel like you need a PhD just to decode a simple text message. Buckle up, because today we're diving into 20 weird, mind-bending things Sigma males do that leave everyone completely baffled, and I promise, half of these will make you question if reality itself follows the same rules for them as it does for the rest of us. Number 1, they blur friend-stranger lines. One of the most confusing things about Sigma males is how effortlessly they blur the line between friends and strangers. With some people, they're warm, engaging, and unexpectedly intimate, sharing thoughts or jokes that make you feel like they've known you forever. With others, including longtime friends, they can be distant, guarded, or almost untouchable. It's not inconsistency, it's strategy. Sigma males understand the power of perception, and they manipulate it without consciously thinking about it. To the outside world, this behavior looks like unpredictability, but to them, it's a way of managing energy, controlling influence, and maintaining independence. This doesn't mean they're aloof for the sake of it. With strangers, they often lower their social guard, not because they want approval, but because observing reactions without emotional baggage gives them insight into human behavior. A brief interaction with a stranger can reveal more about trust, loyalty, and intentions than years of friendships. Conversely, with people they've known for a long time, Sigma males sometimes erect invisible walls. They recognize the patterns and expectations that come with established relationships and intentionally avoid getting trapped in predictability. Friends may notice the distance and feel confused, questioning whether something has changed. But the truth is that Sigma males are always aware. They are simply recalibrating the connection to maintain their autonomy. This blur leaves people constantly second-guessing their place in a Sigma male's life. Are they a close friend, an acquaintance, or someone he barely tolerates? The truth is, these roles aren't fixed. They shift according to context, energy, and the unspoken dynamics Sigma males observe. It's a form of social camouflage designed not to harm, but to control perception. People are drawn in, then pushed away, then pulled back, never fully certain where they stand. The effect is magnetic and disorienting, and it keeps the Sigma male in a position of quiet power, respected and feared, admired and envied, all at the same time. This behavior is frustrating for anyone seeking clear labels or predictable bonds. But it's one of the key ways Sigma males navigate the world, fluid, unfettered, and impossible to categorize. It's not about rejection, it's about mastery, and that subtle mastery is what leaves everyone else perpetually puzzled. Number 2, they make you feel observed, not judged. One of the most unsettling things about Sigma males is the way they make you feel observed without ever judging you. It's not a stare meant to intimidate or impress, and it's definitely not the kind of attention that comes with flattery. Instead, it's a quiet, calculated awareness that scans everything, the way you move, the way you speak, the tiny decisions you make in passing. You don't realize it at first, but after a few interactions, you start feeling like you're being measured against some invisible standard, though you have no idea what it is. That's the Sigma effect. They don't ask questions they already know the answer to, and they don't comment unnecessarily. They just watch. And this is where it becomes confusing. Their gaze doesn't carry judgment, yet it carries weight. People feel under a microscope but can't identify what they're being measured for. Is it intelligence, honesty, confidence, or something else entirely? The truth is, it's all of it. Sigma males process information in layers that others can't perceive. Every expression, hesitation, and subtle reaction is logged and evaluated silently, not to manipulate you overtly, but to understand who you are and how reliable or interesting you might be in their world. This skill is disarming because it taps into a primal discomfort. Most people are used to surface-level social interactions, chit-chat, small talk, casual smiles. But Sigma males operate on a level where nothing goes unnoticed. You feel it in your chest more than you see it. And because it's not hostile, it makes people overthink. They start questioning themselves. Did I say that right? Did I come off strange? What is he thinking? That mental loop is exactly what Sigma males subtly thrive on. It's important to note, though, that this isn't about cruelty or intimidation. There's no malice in the observation. It's a silent form of intelligence, a way to read the room, and an invisible mechanism for understanding human nature on a deeper level. And while it can feel unnerving, it's also strangely magnetic. People can't help but be drawn to someone who sees them fully, even if they can't pinpoint exactly what's happening. That tension, being watched but not judged, is the quiet, almost supernatural way Sigma males exert influence without ever lifting a finger. Number 3. They use inaction as a weapon. One of the most confusing and quietly powerful tactics Sigma males use is inaction. When conflict arises, they often do nothing, not out of fear, not out of weakness, but out of calculation. Most people are trained to expect responses, an argument, a rebuttal, a defensive stance, or at least some emotional display. Sigma males refuse to play that predictable game. Their silence and stillness become a weapon in themselves. The absence of reaction unnerves others in ways that words never could. This strategy works because it forces the other person to confront their own expectations and emotions. When someone expects a fight and gets calm detachment instead, it throws them off balance. They search for a reaction that never comes, replaying interactions in their mind, second-guessing their behavior, and often escalating their own frustration. Sigma males don't need to dominate the conversation or prove a point. The tension created by their inaction does the work for them. In many ways, it's a form of psychological leverage. The beauty of this tactic is that it's subtle and non-verbal. It doesn't require theatrics, shouting, or manipulation. By simply refusing to react, Sigma males maintain control over the situation while others spiral. This makes them appear untouchable because they are not engaging in the usual give and take that most people rely on to feel secure or victorious. They are completely self-contained, like a calm ocean in the middle of a storm, while everyone else is thrashing against waves they don't even realize they've created. What makes it even more frustrating and fascinating is that people often misinterpret it. They think silence equals weakness or avoidance. In reality, it is deliberate power. It shows confidence, patience, and a deep understanding of human nature. Sigma males understand that emotional reactions are temporary and chaotic, while strategic inaction is permanent and impactful. By refusing to play the expected roles in conflict, Sigma males create an invisible advantage. They turn the absence of action into a form of control, leaving others unnerved, overthinking, and often unknowingly playing into their hands. It's a quiet dominance that requires zero aggression but commands far more attention and respect than any shouting match ever could. Number 4. They confuse people by being too rational in emotional spaces. One of the most disorienting things about Sigma males is the way they insert cold, clear logic into situations dominated by emotion. Most people respond to anger, frustration, or passion with more emotion, escalating the tension or trying to meet it on the same wavelength. Sigma males do the opposite. They remain calm, analytical, and precise, dissecting feelings in a way that makes people pause and question not just their reaction but the validity of their own emotions. It's a subtle, almost surgical kind of disruption. This behavior confuses people because it violates the unwritten rules of emotional interaction. In a heated argument, a friend might expect sympathy, validation, or a reciprocal outburst. Instead, the Sigma male responds with reasoning so clear and grounded it cuts through the chaos. Suddenly, the emotional intensity that once felt overwhelming seems exaggerated or even irrational. People leave these interactions wondering if they've overreacted, if their feelings were justified, or if they've somehow misunderstood themselves entirely. That's the quiet power of Sigma rationality in emotional spaces. It destabilizes without aggression, challenges without confrontation, and commands attention without spectacle. What's fascinating is that this approach isn't about invalidating anyone. It's about clarity. Sigma males aren't cruel, they simply prioritize understanding over drama. They recognize that most emotional responses are habitual, reactive, or performative, and they exploit that knowledge not to dominate but to illuminate. People experience a mix of relief and frustration. Relief because there's a rational anchor in chaos, frustration because it leaves them unable to leverage emotion for influence. This tactic also makes Sigma males almost impossible to manipulate emotionally. People accustomed to provoking anger, guilt, or pity find their usual levers fail. The more someone tries to pull at emotional strings, the more the Sigma male's composed rationality exposes weaknesses or contradictions in the attempt. It's unnerving, magnetic, and deeply confusing. By being too rational in emotional spaces, Sigma males create an invisible hierarchy. Emotions no longer dictate the interaction, logic does. And in a world where most people are guided by feeling, this level-headedness is simultaneously a shield, a weapon, and a source of silent dominance. It leaves everyone else questioning their instincts, their reactions, and ultimately their understanding of the situation and themselves. Number 5, they make simple things complicated for insight. One of the strangest things Sigma males do is take something simple and make it feel impossibly complicated. It's not because they enjoy confusion or are naturally difficult, it's a deliberate method to uncover layers of information that most people never notice. A casual conversation, a mundane task, or even a seemingly trivial decision can become a window into human behavior or the structure of a system. And Sigma males instinctively know how to turn these moments into insight-gathering opportunities. For example, they might overanalyze a group project, not because they don't trust others, but because observing how people react under minor stress or ambiguity reveals more about character than any formal test could. They notice who steps up, who makes excuses, who tries to manipulate outcomes, and who quietly adapts. To outsiders, the process seems unnecessarily drawn out, confusing, or even obsessive. Yet, in that calculated complexity lies the Sigma male's secret advantage, knowledge. They extract patterns, motives, and weaknesses while everyone else is focused on finishing the task or moving on. It doesn't stop at work or projects. Even casual interactions can be treated this way. A simple discussion about weekend plans could turn into a subtle test of honesty, patience, or priorities. They may ask questions that seem tangential, offer scenarios that seem irrelevant, or make minor choices that appear excessive, but each move is purposeful. It's a quiet, almost invisible strategy to observe reactions, study behavior, and gather data. This approach confuses people because Sigma males rarely explain their reasoning. From the outside, it looks like overthinking, indecision, or eccentricity. But in reality, it's an intentional and highly effective way to navigate social and practical landscapes. People may get frustrated, feel tested, or even doubt the Sigma male's competence, yet none of it is accidental. Every layer of complexity serves a purpose. Insight, understanding, and control without confrontation or drama. In essence, Sigma males turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. By making simple things complicated, they reveal the hidden truths that most people ignore, creating a kind of invisible intelligence network. This strategy allows them to operate several steps ahead, quietly understanding the world and the people in it, while leaving everyone else bewildered and overthinking along the way. Number 6, they're emotionally unavailable but highly empathetic. One of the most paradoxical traits of Sigma males is that they are emotionally unavailable yet intensely empathetic. On the surface, they seem distant, detached, or even cold. They don't share their feelings freely, they rarely complain, and they almost never seek emotional validation. To most people, this can feel frustrating or confusing because emotional connection is often measured by openness and vulnerability. But beneath that calm, self-contained exterior lies a deep and almost uncanny understanding of what others feel. Sigma males don't broadcast their emotions, but they can read the room, interpret subtle cues, and sense moods with remarkable accuracy. This empathy isn't about being nurturing in a conventional sense. They don't offer comfort for the sake of it, and they rarely verbalize their understanding. Instead, they use it strategically, subtly guiding interactions, influencing decisions, or redirecting energy without anyone noticing. A Sigma male might intuitively know when someone is vulnerable, insecure, or overconfident, and adjust his words, tone, or presence to exploit or manage that without overt manipulation. The effect is disorienting because people sense that he gets them on a level they don't even fully understand. Their emotional detachment also acts as a shield. By remaining unavailable, they prevent others from predicting their reactions, controlling them, or creating dependency. At the same time, their empathy ensures they are never blind to the emotional dynamics around them. This combination allows Sigma males to maintain total autonomy while remaining highly aware of the impact they have on others. People are drawn to them, confounded by their unreachability and yet compelled to reveal themselves because the Sigma male seems to see what others hide, even when he doesn't react in expected ways. This paradox is what makes them so magnetic and confusing. Others feel understood, yet they can never fully penetrate the Sigma male's inner world. The emotional influence is silent, invisible, and extremely effective. He doesn't need to express warmth or vulnerability to create connection or exert influence. His empathy alone is enough to shape interactions, quietly direct energy, and command respect. It's a power that is both subtle and profound, leaving people both intrigued and unsettled, drawn to him yet never fully able to possess or predict him. Number 7, they leave clues, not answers. One of the most confounding behaviors of Sigma males is how they communicate in riddles without ever actually speaking in riddles. In relationships, friendships, or even casual interactions, they leave hints, small gestures, subtle comments, fleeting expressions that suggest thoughts, feelings, or intentions. Yet they rarely, if ever, give full clarity. What they do is never enough to fully understand them, but always enough to spark curiosity, speculation, or obsession. This is not manipulation in a crude sense. It's a deliberate strategy to maintain autonomy while keeping others engaged on a psychological level. Sigma males understand that people crave closure and clarity, and they exploit that naturally. By offering fragments instead of answers, they create a sense of pursuit. Friends or partners find themselves piecing together the puzzle of what he's thinking, feeling, or planning, often overanalyzing interactions in the process. This pursuit isn't accidental. It's a quiet form of influence. When others chase the mind of a Sigma male, they reveal themselves in ways they wouldn't otherwise. Their priorities, patience, insecurities, and desires become visible without a word from the Sigma male himself. The beauty of this tactic lies in its subtlety. He doesn't need to lie, argue, or manipulate directly. He simply exists as an enigma, a partially open book. The curiosity he inspires becomes a self-sustaining force. People want to know him, anticipate him, and engage with him, but they are never fully rewarded with answers. That tension, the desire to understand met with perpetual mystery, is what makes Sigma male so magnetic and frustrating at the same time. This behavior also protects him emotionally. By revealing only pieces of himself, he maintains control over intimacy and vulnerability. No one can fully predict his reactions, exploit his feelings, or corner him emotionally. At the same time, those fragments of insight he allows are enough to create connection, fascination, and admiration. In essence, Sigma males turn communication into a game of shadows. Every hint is deliberate, every omission purposeful. They leave a trail that draws people in while remaining uncatchable, keeping their inner world private but impossible to ignore. And in doing so, they cultivate influence, intrigue, and quiet authority, all without ever saying everything. Number 8, they speak in contradictions. One of the most intriguing things about Sigma males is the way they speak in contradictions. At first it feels confusing, almost frustrating. You might hear one statement that seems completely at odds with the next, and for a moment you wonder if he's being inconsistent, indecisive, or simply difficult. But nothing could be further from the truth. Each contradiction is intentional, carefully calibrated to provoke thought, test perceptions, and challenge assumptions. It's not about confusing people for the sake of it. It's about creating a mental landscape where curiosity and critical thinking are inevitable. Sigma males understand that most people respond to life with rigid expectations and predictable logic. They use contradictions to disrupt that pattern, forcing others to pause, reconsider, and sometimes even question their own reasoning. A single conversation can leave someone replaying sentences in their mind for hours, trying to reconcile opposing ideas, never fully able to pin down the Sigma male's exact stance. This ambiguity is deliberate. It keeps people engaged mentally while maintaining the Sigma's autonomy and unpredictability. What makes it even more effective is that these contradictions often reveal deeper truths. On the surface, they might seem paradoxical, but when examined carefully, each statement exposes nuances about life, relationships, or human nature that most people miss. The Sigma male doesn't offer tidy conclusions because he knows life is rarely simple, and he doesn't feel the need to spoon-feed understanding. Instead, he creates a space where others are encouraged or compelled to find insight themselves, guided by his intentionally conflicting words. This method also serves as a subtle form of influence. People who engage with him are constantly analyzing, debating, and learning, even when they don't realize it. The contradictions stimulate reflection, spark conversation, and often inspire others to question norms, patterns, or unquestioned beliefs. It's a form of teaching without teaching, a way to leave impact without controlling the narrative directly. In essence, speaking in contradictions allows Sigma males to remain enigmatic, mentally stimulating, and subtly authoritative. They create intrigue and fascination effortlessly, leaving others both unsettled and captivated. The contradictions are not mistakes. They are a signature, a carefully honed tool to shape perception, inspire curiosity, and ensure that even a brief interaction lingers far longer than most people can comprehend. Number 9, they are present but unattached. One of the most fascinating qualities of Sigma males is the way they are present without ever fully being attached. They can walk into a room, join a conversation, or appear in social situations, yet there's always an invisible layer separating them from the crowd. People notice them immediately, not because they're loud or flamboyant, but because their presence carries weight. You feel it in subtle ways, the way they move, the way they observe, the way they interact. There's a magnetic pull, yet a distance you can't cross. They are everywhere, yet always somehow elsewhere. This presence is not accidental. Sigma males have perfected the ability to be engaged on the surface, while remaining untethered underneath. They listen intently, respond intelligently, and participate selectively. But they never surrender control of their inner world. It's this untouchable quality that creates intrigue. People are drawn to them, fascinated by their accessibility and yet frustrated by the emotional and psychological space they maintain. They can participate fully in life without being fully consumed by it. Being present but unattached also gives them an enormous advantage socially. They observe patterns, interactions, and behaviors without being emotionally or socially entangled. They see who is genuine, who is performative, and who is attempting to manipulate or impress. This allows Sigma males to navigate social dynamics with clarity and precision while everyone else is caught up in superficiality or emotional turbulence. They're engaged enough to influence, unnoticed enough to avoid vulnerability. The tension they create is subtle but undeniable. People feel their presence, yet they can't fully reach it. This ambiguity sparks curiosity, respect, and sometimes envy. Sigma males never need to assert dominance through words or actions because their very detachment signals that they cannot be controlled, manipulated, or fully understood. Their influence comes naturally, silently, and effortlessly. In essence, being present but unattached is the ultimate paradox of Sigma males. They are fully there, yet always just out of reach. It's magnetic, enigmatic, and quietly powerful. People are drawn in, intrigued, and unsettled simultaneously, never entirely sure what to make of them. This is one of the core reasons Sigma males command attention without trying, leaving a lasting impression on everyone they encounter while remaining untouchable and sovereign in their own inner world. Number 10. They test loyalty without asking. One of the quietest yet most powerful traits of Sigma males is how they test loyalty without ever asking. They don't put people on the spot or demand declarations of trust. Instead, they create scenarios, small, seemingly ordinary situations that reveal character naturally, without anyone realizing they are being evaluated. A Sigma male doesn't need to interrogate or confront. He simply observes how people respond when opportunity, pressure, or subtle challenge arises. By the time someone realizes what has happened, the assessment is already complete. This approach is effective because it relies entirely on authenticity. Sigma males know that people perform when they feel watched or judged, so they avoid obvious tests. Instead, they engineer conditions where true behavior emerges organically. A friend might be asked to run a small favor, A colleague may be entrusted with a minor responsibility, or a partner could encounter a delicate moral choice, each moment offering insight into reliability, integrity, and intentions. The Sigma male doesn't intervene or announce the stakes. He simply observes, silently mapping out patterns of honesty, consistency, and dependability. What makes this so disorienting for others is that they rarely know they're under scrutiny. They believe they're acting naturally, yet the Sigma male sees everything: the hesitations, the shortcuts, the hidden motives, and the moments of generosity or deceit. This subtle observation allows him to make decisions about relationships, trust, and influence long before anyone realizes they are being measured. It's a form of social intelligence so refined that it often seems invisible, yet its impact is profound. Sigma males don't need drama or confrontation to establish boundaries. By testing loyalty quietly, they protect themselves from betrayal, while also gaining clarity about who truly matters in their life. People who pass the test earn trust without ever feeling they've been judged, while those who fail reveal themselves organically. This strategy maintains the Sigma male's autonomy while ensuring that his circle of influence is composed only of those who are dependable, aligned, and trustworthy. In essence, testing loyalty without asking is a silent form of power. It is precise, invisible, and effective, leaving others unaware of the assessment until it has already shaped the relationship. This is why Sigma males are so rarely caught off guard. They've quietly prepared for every eventuality by observing without intervention, maintaining both control and clarity in every interaction. Number 11, they reject validation but thrive on observation. One of the most fascinating aspects of Sigma males is how they completely reject validation yet thrive on observation. They aren't seeking approval, praise, or acknowledgement in the conventional sense. Compliments bounce off them, social pressures don't sway them, and they rarely feel the need to explain or justify themselves. To the outside world, this can make them seem aloof, indifferent, or even arrogant. But beneath that calm detachment lies a mind constantly analyzing and cataloging the world around them. Sigma males notice everything: the small gestures, fleeting glances, and subtle behaviors of those around them. They see who truly pays attention, who pretends to care, and who reacts out of habit or obligation. Every interaction is data, every observation a piece of a larger puzzle. They store this knowledge strategically, using it later to navigate relationships, make decisions, or even subtly influence people without ever drawing attention to their understanding. While they appear unconcerned with social validation, they are deeply aware of social currents and human behavior. What makes this behavior so disorienting is that it's invisible. People often assume the Sigma male doesn't notice, doesn't care, or is detached from the world around him. In reality, he is fully present mentally, weighing, interpreting, and storing information for future use. This allows him to operate several steps ahead in social, professional, and personal interactions. He doesn't need approval to feel secure, but he recognizes the value of knowing who notices him and how they respond. This combination of rejection and awareness creates a unique dynamic. People are drawn to the Sigma male because he seems untouchable, yet they unknowingly reveal themselves through their attention, curiosity, or reactions. The Sigma male benefits quietly and efficiently without ever appearing to be seeking anything in return. This is not manipulation in the traditional sense. It's a refined form of social intelligence. In essence, Sigma males reject validation externally while thriving internally on observation. Their power comes from detachment paired with acute awareness. They remain untouched by opinion, immune to pressure, yet constantly informed by subtle cues in their environment. It's a paradox that makes them magnetic, enigmatic, and always several steps ahead, leaving people intrigued, frustrated, and unknowingly playing into their silent strategy. Number 12, they make others question reality. One of the most disorienting abilities of Sigma males is how they make others question reality. Their behavior, timing, and logic are so unconventional, so subtly misaligned with what people expect, that interacting with them can feel like stepping into a different dimension. They don't aim to confuse, but the cumulative effect of their choices, words, and presence often leaves others second-guessing themselves, wondering if they misinterpreted events, conversations, or intentions. Sigma males operate according to their own internal logic. Their decisions rarely follow social norms, patterns, or predictable sequences. What seems strange or contradictory at first glance is often intentional, designed to reveal deeper truths or to navigate situations with maximum efficiency. A casual remark may challenge a widely accepted belief. A perfectly timed action might undermine an expectation without anyone noticing until hours later. Their perspective is so singular, so independent, that it often feels like reality itself bends around them. This ability is amplified by their sense of timing. Sigma males rarely rush or conform to the urgency imposed by others. They arrive, speak, or act at moments that seem unusual to observers, but in their framework the timing is precise. The combination of unusual logic and unconventional timing creates a subtle cognitive dissonance in those around them. People begin to doubt what they thought they knew, question why they reacted the way they did, and reassess their own understanding of the situation. What makes this especially powerful is that it's invisible. There's no trickery, no overt manipulation, just a mind operating outside conventional parameters. Interacting with a Sigma male forces others to reconcile their assumptions with reality in ways they are not used to. Over time, this can make him appear enigmatic, almost otherworldly, because he exists under a set of rules that others cannot easily grasp. In essence, Sigma males don't just challenge perceptions, they destabilize them. By consistently operating outside social norms while remaining fully coherent within their own framework, they create an environment where others question not him, but their own interpretations of reality. It's a subtle, silent influence, leaving people intrigued, unsettled, and endlessly fascinated by the enigma of his presence. Sigma males are a paradox wrapped in quiet power, a constant enigma that leaves everyone around them questioning, observing, and overthinking. They operate on their own terms, fluid, untouchable, and infinitely complex. Every glance, every silence, every contradiction is deliberate, carefully calibrated to reveal truths, provoke thought, or test the world without ever seeking validation. They don't follow rules, they bend them, manipulate perception without effort, and influence outcomes without ever raising their voice. From making simple things complicated to challenging reality itself, Sigma males navigate life in a way that is both magnetic and disorienting. They are emotionally intelligent, yet emotionally unavailable, empathetic yet detached, present yet operating on another plane of understanding. Every interaction, whether with friends, strangers, or partners, becomes a subtle dance of observation, strategy, and influence. People are drawn to them, fascinated by their independence, yet endlessly puzzled by their unpredictability. What sets Sigma males apart is not just what they do, but how they do it, with precision, subtlety, and patience. They create intrigue, inspire reflection, and command respect, all without ever seeking attention or approval. Their quiet mastery lies in the invisible, the glances, the silences, the withheld answers, and the mental games that leave others questioning themselves while he remains several steps ahead. In a world obsessed with noise, display, and conformity, Sigma males are a silent storm, powerful, untouchable, and unforgettable. They are proof that true influence doesn't demand recognition and that mystery, intelligence, and independence will always captivate far more than the predictable or the obvious. To truly understand a Sigma male is to accept that some things will remain a puzzle, but that's the point. Their brilliance lies in the enigma, the subtle chaos, and the magnetic independence that no one else can replicate. And in observing, reflecting, and learning from them, the rest of the world becomes a little sharper, a little more aware, and a lot more intrigued. If this deep dive into the mind of Sigma males left you intrigued, fascinated, or even a little puzzled, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video like this. Don't forget to like if you found these insights mind-bending, comment below with which Sigma behavior surprised you the most, and share this with someone who needs to see the truth about Sigma males. Every interaction helps grow this community of curious thinkers, and trust me, you'll want to stay part of it. Your engagement keeps the content coming, and it's the best way to keep uncovering the hidden strategies, secrets, and mysteries that Sigma males wield effortlessly. Subscribe, like, comment, and share, and step into the world where independence meets intrigue.